Hi everybody, my name is Jess. I am one of the head people here at New Day, so we're here today to do another of our interviews. We have JP with us today, so we're going to get to know him a little bit and some of his story and how he helped get New Day started. He's actually one of our founders, so he's going to give us some insight on that. So introduce yourself to us.
Hey Jess, thanks for having me here today. So excited to just get to talk a little bit about New Day and do these videos. I think it's such an important aspect of what we do is just kind of talking about what we do and getting our stories out there. So I'm John Paul Phillips. My wife Megan and I have been married for almost 18 years, and we have been here in Fountain Inn since we graduated college. We have two boys, 9 and 11, Crawford and Porter, and we just love Capstone Church and the heart that they have for this city. But yeah, just so excited to get to talk with you today a little bit about New Day and what God's doing in our community.
Absolutely. So I know I mentioned that you are one of our founders. So, I mean, just kind of tell us, what led to New Day and like what brought about its creation and how all of that came about.
Yeah, so I guess it was probably 2020 time frame when I went through a little bit of a struggle in my life. There were a lot of things that had happened early on in my life, in my teenage years, and then in my childhood I didn't realize it until it kind of got to a point of being where others had pointed some things out to me, but just had some mental health things that I knew that I hadn't been dealing with the right way, and so thankfully I was able to get those taken care of with the help of friends here at Capstone and church family and my personal family. But yeah, after going through that time in my life and Steve and Glenn, some of our other members, we had just felt a calling to do something different here at Capstone and here in Fountain Inn. And ultimately, we knew that starting a rehab facility probably wasn't in the cards with our families and our daytime jobs, but we just prayed about what God was trying to speak to us about, and through prayer and through conversations with our friends down at the Bridge Center in Anderson, we kind of came up with this idea of creating a community group called New Day Recovery, and ultimately that is when we started in September of 2021. And so we have seen people come and go, but we have also seen God do amazing things through this process, and He's continuing to do amazing things and sending new people our way. And so yeah, just so excited and happy and just grateful about the power of community, and welcoming others into a place where they just can feel like themselves and they can feel comfortable sharing some of their struggles with each other. That's the ultimate goal, is just creating a place for people to come and feel welcomed.
Absolutely. That's the amazing thing about God and how He works, with something desperately needed here. So that's an amazing thing to see. So speaking of New Day, it means something to pretty much everybody that comes here in one way or the other. It's had some type of part in their lives, even helping with their recovery stories and so on. So what would you say, it means to you? How has it helped to stay on your sobriety journey, all of those things?
Yeah, I think just knowing that I'm not alone. I mean, I think a lot of times in this world that we live in, it's so easy to feel just alone and feel like nobody has the same difficulties that you do, but being able to come and have like-minded people together that know that they can't do it on their own, and encouraging one another to be open and be honest, but ultimately encouraging one another to grow stronger in their faith and be closer in their walk with Jesus on a day-to-day basis. That is the biggest thing for me. It's just it's very encouraging when we come together and meet and share. It warms my heart every time we get the opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. I love that myself. That's definitely the great thing about New Day, is having those people that have that in common. And I think that's a lot of struggle that people have in their recovery, is not having that safe place to go. So yeah, that's amazing. So what would be like either a favorite memory or a thing, you know, about New Day, like when you just think of New Day, that comes straight to mind and you can just share it? Like what's that for you?
Yeah, I think my favorite thing about New Day again is just the aspect of knowing that I have multiple people that I can call on if I'm having a bad day, and it's not something that has to wait for a Tuesday night meeting.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I know for a fact that there's 10 people in our core group, our core community group, that I could call on any hour, any minute of the day. And that's the most important thing sometimes, is just knowing that you've got somebody that you can talk to, because the more times that we have a bad day or that we're struggling with something, if we hold that in and we feel like we're alone and we feel like we don't have anybody to talk to, then it just kind of festers and it eats at us. So I think my favorite thing again is just that community aspect, and knowing that I'm in a safe place and that I have so many people that love and care for me, and they want that phone call. They want to be there for that phone call. But I think my favorite memory is probably our very first big meeting that we ever did. The guys from the Bridge Center in Anderson came up, and Bradley preached and spoke that night. And you know, one of our fellow members here that's been a member ever since, I say a member, but you know, we don't have a membership. It's he came to that first meeting, and within 48 hours, he was on the way to recovery, and you know, stuck it out for that 4-month program, and did the transition work, and he has seen the fruit of all the hard work and the commitment that he has put in to that recovery journey. And so that's just it was a sign from God that we were being obedient to what he had called us to.
Absolutely.
So I think that's probably, you know, when I think about New Day, there's so many good memories, like our fundraiser that we did a couple years ago, where one of the other community groups in the church pitched in and we had a community-wide yard sale. I mean, there's so many good memories, but just God's hand on that very first meeting, it was just a sign, and it was a clear message from him that what we are doing is of him, and that beautiful things are going to continue to come from it.
Absolutely. I was there for that meeting. That was awesome, because I actually know this person. We went to high school together and middle school, and even went to a different church together. So it was awesome to see not only that, but just see how God reconnects people. I mean, because I hadn't seen him in years, and he just walked in here. So
yeah,
that's an amazing thing. So we've talked a little bit about our memories that we have. We've talked about what it means to us for New Day. My next question for you would be, so if somebody were to come up to you, you know, off the street or just randomly, what would you tell them is our purpose and like what we do here?
Well, our mission statement is recovery from addiction through Christ and community. So I think, you know, when people struggle with addiction or substance abuse or even mental health issues, it's so easy. You know, a lot of the times we do things and we're not in our right mind, or we do things because our mind is so focused on our struggles, and we regret a lot of those things. And so, you know, a lot of folks may have relationships that need being repaired.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to repair relationships while we're still in recovery, right? And so I think my main thing is we are here to help you figure out what your recovery journey looks like, whether it is addiction or substance abuse, or even if it's just mental health stuff. We're here to provide you with a safe place to come and talk to. And you know, we may not be psychiatrists, or we may not be a rehab facility, but we have done the work and we have good resources. And I just want to encourage people to know that they're not alone, and that there are people out there who love them. And we want to see that reconciliation happen in their life. And ultimately, we believe and feel that a relationship with the Father is one of the only ways for those things to start to happen.
Absolutely.
So that would be my encouragement.
That's a really great point. And I love too that for us as a group, you know, we try to reach everybody. So if whether you're on the road to recovery, you need to find that way to recovery, or if you're a family member, even, you know, a victim, or a you know, you've watched your loved ones suffer, that sort of thing, and want to know how to help them.
Yeah.
So I love that part about us. I think that's an amazing aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in closing, do you have like any advice or like words of wisdom to give somebody maybe that's watching this, you know, kind of trying to figure some stuff out, where they need to go, that sort of thing?
My biggest thing would just be, don't give up. No matter how hard things may be in your life, or how hard circumstances may be, know that there is a Heavenly Father out there that deeply loves and cares for you. And know that there are people here that have gone through the same similar struggles. I mean, all of our stories aren't the same,
Right.
but they look a lot alike at the end of the day. And so my biggest thing would just be reach out. Don't allow the ways of this world or the things that come from the enemy to tell you that you're not enough, because you are enough. We are created in the image of God, and I would just encourage anybody to reach out and just to be open, and know that there's power in honesty. Know that there's power and being able to get things off of your chest, and just talk through some of those things. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a large group setting. To my point earlier, it could be just through a one-on-one relationship, whether it's a female that comes in and she just wants to connect with you personally, or if it's a guy that comes in and he and Steve have more in common than maybe he and I do. You know, my encouragement will be, find somebody that you can confide in and that you feel comfortable talking to, even though it's gonna feel uncomfortable.
Right.
There's so much power in being able to talk about the things that are going on inside of us, because when we don't talk about them, it just continues to eat at us.
Yeah.
And the only way that the Lord can start to work through those things is for us to one, is to give them up to Him and lay those things at the foot of the cross, but then also find that person that you can talk to and just share back and forth, because there's so much power in those relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I think, you know, a lot of people do get scared because they're like, oh, it's a meeting, it's we gotta, no, not by any means. That's, you know, we're here to help you in whatever way you need. So whether that's one-on-one conversation, go get some coffee, you know, whatever it may be, don't hesitate to reach out, because we're always there. Well, I thank you for doing the interview with us. That's awesome, and I really hope that it'll help somebody, you know, maybe have some questions and that sort of thing. It'll answer some of those. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, Jess. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I'll be back next month with our next interview. And just again, guys, if you need anything, if you have any questions, anything like that, we're always there. Please reach out to us, message us, and we will get back to you. And we hope you have a wonderful, blessed day.